What happened while we were away, brought to you by something long overdue.
And I'm really, really proud to be here with President Trump, who's signed this order, ending this research, for the first time putting in place a real regulatory framework to make it go away forever.
That is NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya at the signing ceremony for a new executive order last night that bans dangerous forms of gain-of-function research. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. joined Fox News to connect the dots when it comes to this dangerous form of research, widely attributed as the cause of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Gain-of-function studies are the kind of science that is designed to make microbes and pathogens more virulent, more transmissible, and more deadly. It was in this country, they started doing it in 1947, the military and the intelligence agencies, in order to develop bioweapons. In 1969, President Nixon banned it all and shut down Fort Detrick, shut down all the labs. That ban, and then signed the Bioweapons Convention. That ban lasted till 2001. And after the anthrax attacks, Anthony Fauci essentially restarted the arms race and the bioweapons arms race, and did it under the pretension of developing vaccines because of the same science that you develop bioweapons and vaccines. In 2014, 3 of his bugs had escaped, and 300 scientists wrote letters to President Obama asking him to shut down Anthony Fauci. President Obama declared a moratorium, but instead of shutting down his experiments, he moved them offshore, mainly to the Wuhan lab. And now, the principal institutions of our government, the CIA, the FBI, the State Department, Department of Energy, all say that it is most likely that those experiments resulted in the COVID-19 pandemic beginning in 2019. So President Trump today moved to shut down this kind of research in this country and to stop funding it abroad.
In other news this morning, North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis confirmed he is opposing Trump's nominee for a U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Ed Martin, and you won't believe the reason why.
Where we probably have a difference is I think anybody that breached the perimeter should have been in prison for some period of time. Whether it's 30 days or 3 years is debatable, but I have no tolerance for anybody who entered the building on January the 6th, and that's probably where most of the friction was.
Put a bookmark in J6. We're circling back to that in a bit. But speaking of duplicitous jackwagons, the Pulitzer Prizes are being handed out, and photographer Doug Mills of the New York Times won the award for breaking news photography for his work during the attempted assassination of President Trump during his Butler, Pennsylvania rally last year. He did great work, but this photograph, taken by the Associated Press's Evan Vucci, the iconic photograph of the day's harrowing events, that didn't win an award for reasons. What did win a Pulitzer, however, is ProPublica for a debunked story about a woman who died after taking the abortion pill. ProPublica reported that the Texas woman died because of pro-life laws, even though it's been reported she likely died due to complications of the abortion drug mifepristone. Naturally, the false story from ProPublica won the Pulitzer. Meanwhile, at the Department of Justice, they filed a motion to dismiss Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey's lawsuit against the FDA over its approval of that abortion pill mifepristone being mailed to women. The lawsuit was launched in conjunction with other states after a group of pro-life doctors were denied standing for attempting to do the same thing. The Trump DOJ is now saying Missouri, Kansas, and Idaho lack standing to challenge the FDA in a similar way. Learning Chinese today. Today's phrase is, Pam Bondi, what you doing?
汉武邦迪，你在做什么?
Told you we were circling back to J6. Well, here is former Vice President Mike Pence, complete with his furrowed brow, winning the JFK Profile in Courage Award for his role on that day.
I will always believe, by God's grace, I did my duty that day.
And now a video I had never seen before yesterday. Here is Mike Pence on January 4th of 2021.
I want to assure you, I share the concerns of millions of Americans about voting irregularities. And I promise you, come this Wednesday, we'll have our day in Congress. We'll hear the objections. We'll hear the evidence.
So 2 days before J6, Mike Pence was out there riling up a crowd, promising them answers on January 6th for their questions about the election. And now 4 years later, he's taking in Profile in Courage Awards for standing up for our sacred democracy. Make that make sense. Anyway, here's Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who says she wants to assault Republicans with folding chairs.
I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you that we know how to use a chair, whether we pulling it up or are we doing something else with it?
David French, your thoughts?
You look at this Christian right, the MAGA Christian right. It is will to power. It is cruelty. It is dominance. Nothing about this is drawn from historic Christian theology.
And finally, California Governor Gavin Newsom attempts to figure out what ails the Democrat Party.
We lost. We lost the popular vote, and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed, and we need to be humble about that, and we need to have some grace, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote, woke? Was it because of the issues with Israel? Was it all of the above?
Yeah, it's literally all of that. Like everything you just said. Thanks for playing, Gavin. And that's what happened while we were away.